What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Paddock, and today we're going to talk about 4 simple embellishments that you can add to any melody to give it more life, motion, and substance. When you read a lead sheet, most melodies are written in a really simple form. They're just kind of bare bones, giving you an idea of how to play the melody. But when you start adding ad-libbing and embellishments, that's what really brings the melody to life and kind of makes it your own. I already did a video on ad-libbing that dives really deep into the 4 steps that you can use to ad-lib on any melody. So today I'm going to focus more on the embellishment side of things. So embellishments are just like adding little decorations or ornaments to notes, just to make the note sound more important or give it more substance, just bring the note out a little bit more. To demonstrate these 4 embellishments that I'm going to teach you today, we're going to use the first part of the jazz standard Summertime. We're going to do it in the key of concert A minor, which on alto saxophone is F sharp minor. That is the key that I'll be talking in because I'm playing alto saxophone. If you're a B flat instrument, that would be B minor. But I'll be talking in F sharp minor since I'm playing it on alto saxophone. So here is a lead sheet kind of bare bones approach to playing Summertime. So it's just the basic melody. So if we wanted to add some embellishments, the very first thing that we would do is put some grace notes on it. Grace notes are a great way to accentuate a note and just make it sound a little bit more important and draw just a little bit more attention to it. So grace notes are a quick note before the actual note, before the actual like goal note. So if you're going to play a B, for example, you would play a B flat right before the B. And that kind of acts like an accent on the B, but your accent is using a grace note as opposed to playing the note stronger. So in this tune, I'm going to do a grace note on the C sharp. So I'll use a C going into the C sharp. And on the B, so I'll use a B flat going into the B. So the melody with a grace note on the C sharp. So you heard that grace note, how it just gave it a little bit more life. Here is the melody without the grace note. Here it is with the grace note. It just gives it a little bit more life. Now this time I'm going to change the grace note and put it on the B. Again, it just gives that B a little bit more importance. It just makes it stand out a little bit more and makes the melody breathe a little bit more. So the first embellishment that you can add are grace notes. The next embellishment that you can add are scoops. Scoops are when you start the note flat and slide into it. So it would sound like this. So it's basically the bottom end of a vibrato. Scoops are a really great embellishment to add, but they also, especially in the beginning, if you do them too much, they don't sound good. You don't want to develop a case of the scoops. So you want to use them sparingly, but in the right spot, they can sound great. So here is a grace note on the C sharp. Now, you can also play a scoop in between 2 notes as opposed to just starting on it. So in this example, I'm going to play 2 C sharps and I'm going to scoop in between them. So that one, we start on the note, we bring it down, we bring the pitch down, and then we bring the note back up. And the way you scoop is by saying the word doit, doit, with your tongue. What that does is it brings the pitch down when your tongue is going doi in the oi position, and then when you do the oit, when you bring it back up, that's what gets the note back in tune. That's how you do a scoop. So again, use scoops sparingly, but when you do use them, they can be a very effective way of adding a little bit of accent onto a note or just bringing attention to a note. So let's play the beginning of Summertime, and I'm going to add some scoops and some grace notes. And with just those 2 embellishments, you can hear the difference between that and again, just by adding these 2 little embellishments, it brings a lot more life to the melody. Our next embellishment is a turn, and turns can add all kinds of motion to a note or to a melody. In this example, I'm going to do a turn on the B. Now what a turn is you play the original note, then you go up a note, then you go back to the original note, you go down a note, and back to the original note. So you have the note, up, note, down, note. So in the case of B, it would be B, C sharp, B, A, B. Your general rule is that you're going to stay in the key signature, but every now and then you will put an accidental in there. Usually from below you'll do a half step as opposed to a whole step, but your general rule is follow the key signature. So since we're in F sharp minor, we're going to play B, C sharp, B, A, B. In slow motion. So we're playing the B, up a step, back to the B, down a step, back to the B. And it's called a turn because it kind of looks like a turn. It looks like an S, and the actual symbol for it is a sideways S. So if we're going to put this in the melody of Summertime, it would sound like this. Do you hear all that motion? Let's do it one more time. Now, let's add our grace notes, our scoops, and our turns and see how much motion we can get in this melody. Now, if you notice, I did a grace note into the B and then also did a turn on the B. That gives it even more motion. So you can combine these embellishments into more than just one. So I could also scoop into that B. Or I could just do a turn on it. So our first three embellishments are grace notes, scoops, and turns. The last one that we're going to talk about today are falls. Now I also did a video that dives really deep into falls, so I would definitely recommend checking that out to get your falls down really good. But today I'm just going to show you how to add them into the melody. So a fall can either be ending a note with a fall or falling in between two notes. Either one of them work, and they're both really great embellishments to add to a melody. So in this case, I'm going to fall in between two notes. So I falled from the A to the F sharp. So I'm just doing chromatic. I'm doing A, G sharp, G, F sharp. And then I'm going from the F sharp down to the C sharp. And there I'm also doing chromatic. Now with your falls, you're not always going to do chromatic, but when they're pretty close to each other, the more notes you can get in there, the better. So we definitely want to do chromatic if possible. All right, so let's take a listen to Summertime with the falls added in again. So that is the next phrase and a freestanding fall without it landing on another note. So there are two kinds of falls you can use. One that starts on one note and lands on another, and the other is where it starts on one note and it just goes away because you get softer as you go down. So let's take a listen to Summertime with all of the embellishments. Now that sounds way different than So by adding some ad-libbing along with embellishments, you can take a melody that just sounds kind of bland and boring and really turn it into something that sounds super cool. Okay, so let's do a little recap of the 4 simple embellishments that we can add to any melody. The first one is a grace note. You can add that to any note, but if you add it to the right note, which is usually a gold note, it's going to sound super cool. The second one is a scoop. So you can scoop directly into a note, or you can scoop with 2 notes in between. The third one is a turn. So a turn is when you start on the note, you go up a note, you go back to the note, you go below the note, and you go back to the note. And our fourth embellishment is a fall. Or if it's at the end of a phrase. And just by adding those 4 embellishments, you can really open up any melody. Now, the beauty of these 4 simple embellishments is you can literally put it on any song. Here's the first part of All the Things You Are. Here are the 4 embellishments in Autumn Leaves. Again, you can add these 4 embellishments to any song, and it's going to take it from a bare bones lead sheet sounding melody to a professional sounding melody that has all kinds of movement and shape to it. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. If you found it useful, I'd really appreciate it if you would share it with your friends, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me with a comment, or if you have any suggestions for future videos, hit me with a comment. Thanks a lot.